Good afternoon and welcome to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne Casdia. Our goal at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Yes, it's very possible to do that. You just need to put it out there in the world and find the joy. Today on our show, we have the beautiful Liz Martin from Hands-On Acupuncture and Massage. She's been on here before, and we're very pleased and honored to have you on again. How are you? Welcome to the show, Liz.
I'm so happy to be here again. I'm so happy to share more about our messages, and love working with you always.
Love working with you too, Liz. So let's jump right into it. First, you've just returned recently from a trip to Hawaii where you really had a group effort and spent some transition time. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's been quite a whirlwind, but a really good one. So I went to Hawaii for a mastermind. It was the second trip. Sedona was the first one. Hawaii is the second. I'm going to be going into the Berkshires in October. But Hawaii was pretty amazing because we embodied our feminine, and the beautiful island helped me to bring back my joy and bring back my creativity and my flow. Because I think a lot of times we just get stuck in the hustle of like trying to do things, and we forget that we're abundant. And when you start to free flow, when you sort of let go of the old person, you can begin to live a life of purpose. So Hawaii just really embodied that for me and for the rest of the girls. It was a lot. It was a huge transformation.
Well, let's and that's very exciting. Let's back up for a second. When you say you changed who you are, so we're always shedding. We're shedding the old us, and as you do transitions, as you go through transition, you do leave things behind because they no longer serve you, and you move forward to bigger and better things for you during that transition. Would that be a good assessment?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the more internal work that you do, the excavating, you realize, things that you were doing or maybe even who you were are not really who you are now, because, you've lived these things and you've had these experiences that you just can't turn back to what you know. And, and when you realize that life can be different, and when you start to, just fully embody with what you're here on the planet to be, when you're shedding those layers, when you're shedding the constraints from that were sent by other people or even yourself of just trying to conform. Hawaii just really helped me to embody that feminine flow that I've always had, but I just have put constraints on myself with the stories, other people's stories, and even my own story of not being good enough or not feeling good enough. I've always wanted to travel, and I always had the story that I was a mom and I'm a business owner. Who am I to travel? Who am I to do all these things? But what I realized is that the traveling is for my children and for my employees, for my staff. Like, it's so important to have, to nurture your spirit and your soul.
Well, you're growing, then you bring it back to all the people in your life and you help them grow, right?
Exactly.
So all the experiences we have, if we limit our experiences, then we will be limited. If we expand on our experiences, then obviously we'll be expanded and we'll grow. And isn't that what we're supposed to be doing, is growing? We're supposed to reach out and find new things and find out our purpose and then grow from that and help other people. That's where that serving comes along, that you continually hear me talking about, serving other people. But to do it, it's similar to that expression that you hear on the airlines. If you've ever been flying, they always tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before you help other people. Same thing here. When you're in transition, when you're growing, you need to always put your oxygen mask on first. And that's what you did. You went to Hawaii, you put your oxygen mask on first, and now you come back here with abundance to share not only with your two beautiful boys, but also with your family and your friends and your students students and your future students, and of course your clients that you have at Hands-On Acupuncture. So that's a beautiful story. So what was, if you had to say one thing, because I know you came home with, after talking with you, it was very exciting. You came home with all these new thoughts and discoveries. What would be the most important thing to share with the listeners of what you discovered the most about yourself or through the process?
That's a tough one. I mean, I feel like there were a lot of things, but I don't know. I think when you take the time for yourself, you're really coming from like a clear mind. Like, I came home a lot more clear-minded.
Makes perfect sense.
My time and things, so I think we just get stuck in this loop. I'm guilty of it myself. We just get stuck in this loop of like, I can't do this for myself, or you have like all these self-worth doubts, and you even have society and people, and in my case, my ex-husband telling me that I was selfish for doing these things. So once you get like rid of those stories, you'll start to see that it's important for your health and your well-being and your kids to show them that you're living your dreams so that they can live theirs.
Absolutely. And think about it. When people tell you that, when people try to limit you like that, they're just trying to make you small and keep you down. It's generally an issue they're having. It has nothing to do with you. And yet when you hear unkind words coming at you, 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with you. Maybe elements of it does. Maybe it's their perception of you, but it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's none of our business. We need to look within and see. We come, as I've said a million times, and I will continue to say this, we come factory installed with everything we need. We have to spend a lot of time looking within. And when you go on these type of retreats, when you go on these business trips and opportunities like a Sedona, like a Hawaii, like a Berkshire, those are all about going within and rediscovering who you are, rediscovering that little girl or that little boy within you, and all those dreams that you had that for some reason you've allowed society to kind of clip off. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I don't remember where I heard this, but it was like, you go to school and you go through life to be conditioned to be a certain thing. And then when you're an adult, you go through meditation and all these things to uncondition yourself to be who you're supposed to be, So it's really interesting to me because, who you are is always in there. It's just breaking through those constructs that were created for you. Yeah,
because our whole entire life, we're told to fit in. You got to fit in. You got to feel like fitting in. And, when you're actually fitting in, you're being genuinely you. And the people that are supposed to be around you gravitate to you. And the people that are not and aren't of like mind or like vibration, like light. And that's not a negative thing. It's just, we have different groups that we're supposed to be surrounded by. The people who aren't supposed to be in your life, they kind of fade away. They don't like abruptly go away. They fade away. It's pretty interesting. They no longer serve you. So then they no longer fit into your life. That's not a bad thing. Are you enjoying the process of the transition? Is it uncomfortable, a little uncomfortable?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think that true healing comes from uncomfortableness.
Yes.
You don't grow without being uncomfortable. So, I mean, there's been ups and downs. It's been quite a whirlwind. I mean, I now am, living this new life as a single mother, and, processing through the shame of our family not not the vision of the family that I thought it would be, just processing that. And why does that bring you shame? I find it interesting that you utilize that word. It's a judgment question. Just why do you feel shamed by that? Many people do. I had come from that place of feeling like I had failed, and that was the shame in failing, having a family the way, I thought a family should be, but my family is exactly what it should be right now. Right. I think because I was, like on social media and out there, out in public, everyone on the outside, it's like, well, they look like the perfect couple, and I think that I really was trying to convince myself that we were this, and, I'd posted and, people were like, they're a beautiful couple and blah, blah, blah. So like, it just, I don't know, I guess it just feels shameful that it isn't what the reality of what I thought it would be, so I feel, I guess I'm still processing that shame of getting divorced and, processing through the shame of being a mother that works, that owns her own business, and processing through the shame of traveling and wanting to be happy for myself. I think that I've essentially been through trauma, through my life.
Sure.
As a child. And I think that I thought that I had fully healed parts of myself, but I don't think I fully did. But I think I needed to go through this in order to fully process.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. And that's why I don't look at it as a shameful act in any way, shape, or form. It's a growth. And
right.
When it comes into words like shame and any kind of negative connotation, to me, that's just something that's a limitation that society puts on us to keep us small. So when you're going through something like this, it just adds this other element of stress that may
right.
be unnecessary, because that energy that's being put forth, and I did it myself, doesn't really do anything. It keeps you kind of in this circle, in this loop, and you're constantly
right.
sitting there going, well, I feel badly that it doesn't look the way it is. But where you are right now is exactly where you're meant to be. And look at the growth that you've achieved, and look at everything that you're achieving, how strong you are. You're a single mom. You have 2 beautiful boys. You're making decisions. You just bought a house. I mean, you have your own business. I mean, you're showing strength. I see that as a positive. You're showing your boys what it means to live life. I see that as a positive. You're going to places like Sedona and Hawaii. Not only did you go as an attendee, but also you went to help other women get stronger, right. utilizing your tools, which we'll talk about in the second half. But in doing everything, it's positive, positive, positive. So I go back and ask you the question, what is shameful? I can't see it.
I guess there really isn't anything to be shameful on, but it's the construct, the construct that everyone else, I feel that I've surrounded myself with in the past has almost put on me.
Right.
And then, so, and, the shame of just myself, of not realizing that I repeated a pattern in a relationship.
Right.
That I had thought I healed.
Because we have to learn that lesson, and it will continue to repeat until we learn the lesson. Yeah, you learned the lesson. So superhero, to me, that's a positive. Again, I unicorns and rainbows are not really far in the distance for me, but
right.
No, I look at that as an accomplishment. So, and that's how I'd love people to start looking at challenges is, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? And once you can identify that, you're so much further along on that learning path, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, everything that's not working, your life is supposed to, I fully believe that we were put here to live, for a purpose. And
yes.
then when we hit roadblocks, it's either to learn a lesson or to go a different road.
Right.
So, and then, yeah, exactly. If we don't learn a lesson, it keeps repeating and it gets worse and worse.
Yeah, it gets harsher.
Until we listen.
Until it punches you in the face because you're not listening. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're, I think, the more in tune that we come with our own bodies, that's like who we're finding. We're like trying to find ourselves again and why we're here and our purpose for serving the world. And the more you meditate and do the inner work, the more that you come back to who you really are. So,
and I totally agree with that. And you do that at Hands-On Acupuncture and Massage because you're providing that service to all of your clients, but you take a step further. And I just want to kind of touch on it, is that you're also here to educate and to have East meets West. Explain to our listeners what I mean.
Oh, so at my practice, and my mission really is to bridge the gap between Eastern and Western medicine. I think that we have amazing options nowadays when it comes to health. I don't think people know enough about the Eastern medicine. Western medicine is really great for its diagnostic tools and, emergency medicine. And Western medicine likes to compartmentalize a lot of things. But in Eastern medicine, we address all aspects of the body, so including the spiritual and emotional aspect, which I think that Western medicine is not as great as at doing. So I'm here to bridge the gap between that. And, I think that what I've seen within myself and in my patients, that emotions can actually block you from, is what creates illness. Like unexpressed emotions and prolonged emotions actually get held in the body. So if you're not actually processing them or expressing emotions, they can become physical ailments. And in Chinese, as a Chinese medicine practitioner, identifying emotions can help us to treat a person and then help prevent disease from actually manifesting. So by bridging the gap between East and West, we can help to bring people, we can help to educate people in their self-care.
Yeah, and I agree with you. A lot of people aren't aware of Eastern medicine. I started with that back in the 80s, believe it or not, when I got certified as an herbalist, because I couldn't understand how Western medicine couldn't identify the situation that I had. And again, it was brought on by emotions. It was brought on by situations that were happening, and my emotional response to it was causing a physical ailment. So once we were able to identify what that was, it made it a lot easier. And actually, I don't suffer from colitis anymore. And it's a wonderful transition once you go through it. But when you're on the front end, not knowing what it is, it's very frustrating. So I always look at Western medicine, like you put it so eloquently, it's diagnostic. I look at it as when you have an acute situation, you have an emergency, it's really good. It comes in like a really good, strong army and takes care of things. And then the Eastern is more holistic. Correct me if I'm wrong, or if you don't agree with that. I think it's more holistic. It's full body as opposed to specific. I think Western is more specific. If we focus on one aspect or element of the body as opposed to the whole entire individual. And that's the thing about Eastern medicine, is that it is long-term and it is over time. It is more of a tonic, if you will, because it is holistic.
Yeah, you're correct. I mean, Western medicine, we have several different doctors that will focus on one area of the body. But what I love about Chinese medicine is that things that wouldn't make sense in Western medicine would correlate in Chinese medicine. So like somebody has a headache in a particular area of the body, and then they're also experiencing back pain and knee pain, like that fits a pattern in Chinese medicine. So it's like, so we're looking at the big picture. We're not just looking at a physical part. We're asking them about their upbringing and, what happened emotionally. And, anytime someone says, oh, a year ago this happened, I'm like, okay, what happened a year ago? What were you going through personally in your life? Or a lot of times I'll hear, oh, someone was going through a divorce, or they had just moved, or, what have you, so it's very important to really get all of the details. And as a Chinese medicine practitioner, we're looking at the bigger picture and trying to fit the puzzle pieces together, because there's a lot of meaning in what people say and the experiences they go through. But even if they can't even recall scenarios that have happened, we can identify a lot of things within their tongue and feeling their pulse. And then something that separates me from other acupuncturists is I do a technique called NET, which is neuro-emotional technique, and it helps to identify emotions that have gotten trapped within your body. And what happens is it links the brain, and you repeat how you react to a tragic event, or even just an event that happened. You will continue to recreate that pattern. So it could be something as simple as, you tripped and fell when you were 4 years old, and then your mother got really sad. Your mother panicked. So now every time you trip and fall, you're going to panic. That's the simplest one.
Right. That's why, we transfer things onto our kids. Right. So that's why you try not to do that, so that they have the same fears and anxieties that we do, right?
Exactly. So that's what people can understand the most, or even, like that Pavlov experiment with the dog, with
Sure.
the bell ringing, and, every time he rings a bell, he would give the dog something to eat. And then now, even without giving him food, he'd salivate hearing a bell, because it recreated the pattern within the brain. So we do that with, events that happen in our life, and we react to not just our own emotions, but other people's emotions. And then what happens is, anytime a similar scenario happens, you just react in the same way.
Understood. We're going to take this up in the second half. You are listening to Healthy Lifestyle. I am Lorianne Casdia. We're speaking to Liz Martin from Hands On Acupuncture and Massage. We will be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas on topics, guests, or anything at all, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email is healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com, and you can follow us on social media at Healthy Lifestyle with LA. Again, that email is healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. We're having a really great conversation with Liz Martin from Hands On Acupuncture and Massage. Liz is an acupuncturist. She is a Chinese medicine practitioner. We were just talking about people having ailments, and those ailments really identifying things in their lives that's going on. We go through all these transitions that allow us we have an opportunity to learn from. And when we don't, it continues to raise and elevate until we learn from those situations. So, Liz, when you were in Hawaii and you were going through the transition, you came back, you were invigorated, you closed on a house. Congratulations on your new home.
Thank you.
You're moving on. You're taking on your new identity of, or a label, I should say, of being a single mom, because you were always a mom. You were always a practitioner. You've always been a daughter, a sister, a relative, a friend. So nothing really changed except for our label, right?
Right, correct.
Yeah. And through it, we learn different things. So as we progress, as we get older, as we learn these lessons and get better at being us, being genuinely us, sometimes we kind of hit some hurdles. And, let's talk about some of the things that you would see in some of your clients that would identify someone having these kind of hurdles that they may want to pay attention to.
Well, some hurdles that can, sometimes people get stuck with where they are. I happen to treat a lot of women entrepreneurs, and what I've noticed is that, the way that in your health, the way that you take care of your body reflects in your businesses. So, with the technique that I do, I'm able to help identify what emotions are blocking them. So, for instance, I had somebody come in for, she hit a roadblock in her money, in the money aspect of her business. And I know she was coming in for health-wise, but we were able to identify what emotions were blocking her, and the emotions of fear. And we were actually able to identify a specific event that had happened when she was a young girl, where somebody had held, and, one of the things also she was coming in for me was neck pain. And one of the things, and she actually was held under the water by her neck. And that actually created this fear pattern. And the person that held her under, she had gotten a money story from the blueprint. So it caused this reaction in money that like anyone that gives her money is going to create fear. So she hit a roadblock in her business.
Yeah, I would understand that.
So, health has a huge correlation into your success in life, whether it be money, relationships, physical ailments. So it's that's one example. There's so many stories of people that have come in and they weren't getting better with just traditional acupuncture, but then when we started to address the emotional component, they started to get significantly better and within a faster period of time, because those emotions get stuck.
Well, yeah, and we have a choice. We can stay stuck, or we don't have to stay stuck. And it's okay. Either choice is fine. It's just, again, are you learning? Are you growing? And through growth there's a pattern of uncomfortability. And we're not used to that. We're used to everything being safe and in a nice little bubble. And if you want to grow, you got to kind of push those boundaries a little bit, don't you think?
Oh my gosh, yeah. You don't know the light until you've seen the darkness.
Yeah.
The further you're able to be vulnerable and trudge through the waters of the uncomfortability is when you become more successful. Yeah,
without a doubt. When I'm mentoring my clients, because I deal with a lot of entrepreneurs and wantrepreneurs, I always tell them there is a gift in contrast. So if everything is happy and everything is great and everything is wonderful all the time, it may become boring, and then suddenly you're not seeing how great it really is because you expect it. So that contrast is helpful for you to identify and appreciate it when everything is going really, really well. And then if you've been through tragedy and you have now all this wonderful things happening because you are serving your proper purpose, because you are making better choices, you're surrounding yourself with people at the same elevation and vibration, you're going to see that you feel entirely different, but you don't take it for granted. And so I see a benefit in contrast, don't you, Liz?
Oh my gosh, for sure. And, I think part of that too is having the support of others with you and able, because you're not always going to be strong. Like you need to have a container for what you're going towards. So, it's so important and vital to surround yourself by like-minded people that, are into the personal development and personal growth, because they're the only ones that understand.
Yeah, and let us not mistake like-minded people. I mean, if I wanted to hear what I wanted to hear, I would look in the mirror. I wouldn't ask anybody else. We want people to call us on our stuff, and I always said that. I have attracted into my life these wonderful people vibrating in a very genuine manner, in such a high light. It's beautiful. I'm very blessed with that. But they call me on my stuff. If I'm throwing down stuff that's really not being genuine, they'll call me on it. And I appreciate that, because it's like, yeah, you're right. All right, I'll stop that, and we'll go back to doing good things and brilliant things and moving forward and being progressive. And we all do it. Some of it looks like procrastination. Some of it looks like excuses. A lot of times it looks like excuses. So when you're seeing things like that in your life, and you're seeing that, you got to have somebody in your life that's going to call you on that and say, okay, seen this before, heard this before, you're still not moving forward. What are you doing about it?
Some of my favorite teachers and coaches in school and, when I played sports, were the ones that were the hard asses that, that pushed you, and they were hated. People hated them, but I learned the best from those type of people.
Yeah, so myself included. I actually appreciated them more, because at the end of the day, they made me better as a result. But for them, I would not be where I am. So I appreciate that. And now you do, you have, and you're launching this month, actually, an online course that will allow people to come in and learn about Eastern medicine and Western medicine, correct?
Yeah, I want the whole world to know about how Eastern medicine can help them. I want it to be the go-to, for Western medicine, we have a headache, we'll do a certain thing, but I want people to have the tools it takes for Eastern medicine, so they things they can do for themselves and help to identify who they are themselves and how they can prevent disease from happening. So, so I'm going to be launching it's called 5 Elements to Freedom, and it launches next month, September 16th, 3 days after my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
And, I really just wanted to spread more of the message and rather than just have it in one central location, I'd love the world to know about the benefits of this medicine and give them easy access to self-care through this medicine. So
you're really following your mission statement of bridging the gap between Eastern and Western medicine. The more people know,
give people choice.
Yeah, and choice is really important because then you can make a well-informed decision and utilize all the tools available. So why not? If Eastern medicine is available and Western medicine is available, in many cases, and I'm sure you'll learn this as you go through the course, that very often Eastern medicine is not contraindicative and it supports Western medicine, so it makes it actually work and function better and faster. So it's a wonderful course. What can someone expect during the course? Like, how long is the course? Is there a certain period of time that they have to dedicate to it? Can working people take it?
Oh my gosh, it's meant for the busy professional because we don't always allow ourselves those times to educate ourselves and learn. So the idea is that, it's a 6-week course where you will be given a module every week, and there's videos, and it's a self-study course, and you'll be getting some points and, specific meditations based off of your element archetype. You can actually take a quiz online for free to find out which element archetype you are, and when you start to identify who you are, then you have a better understanding of how to prevent disease within your chemical makeup. So,
and they can take that at handsonacupuncture.com?
Yep, www.handsonacupuncture.com, and then you can take the Chinese element quiz and then get your results. And then from there, if you want to go further, you can take the online course and learn a lot more about your chemical makeup in Chinese medicine and some imbalances that may come up associated to that element. So
if someone is taking this course, it's at their own pace, and if it takes them longer than 6 weeks, is that okay? If it takes them 2 weeks to do each module, is that okay?
Oh my gosh, yes. It's there at their own pace. Once you buy the course, you have unlimited access. So if you're interested, the price is a lot lower right now because it's an introductory rate, and then the price will go up after that. So
right. That's an excellent opportunity for people to really start putting their toe in the water, as we like to say here at Healthy Lifestyle, about Eastern medicine. So I know you've heard Liz on our show many times before, and this gives you an opportunity to really find out more about what she's talking about as far as Eastern medicine goes and how it will impact your life in such a positive way. Just having that knowledge, knowledge is power, and this is an opportunity to gain that power. So if they wanted, if when our listeners are interested in this course, do they also go on handsonacupuncture.com to sign up for the course? Is that where they would go?
Yep, it's all already set up. If you want to pre-enroll, you can. Just go onto the website, and then you can go to the online course. And if you have any other questions about it, there are, FAQs. And if you have any further questions, you can always email me at liz@handsonacupuncture.com.
I love it. So a 6-week course. It's called 5 Elements of Freedom, right on handsonacupuncture.com. And it gives you an opportunity to take a course from your home at your own pace and learn more about Eastern medicine, which will definitely augment and help you holistically with your healing and your medicine. Plus, they're guided by you, right, Liz?
Yeah, and it's Chinese medicine on the go. When you learn to identify your own chemical makeup, you can learn to prevent disease before it manifests. So it's, I think it's a really valuable course, and I'm hoping to spread my message. So if you or anyone you know can benefit from this, really, it's helping to impact the rest of us with preventing, preventing disease and preventing, unnecessary surgery.
So, and they do that by learning.
If we can learn to help ourselves before, going to something that, but if we can learn to help ourselves, then before disease, we're going to be saving ourselves so much time and money.
Sure. Well, and also, listen, no one wants to get themselves in a situation where they're hurt. And if it's identifiable, if it's, as I say, if it's avoidable, then why would you want to go through it? So this will empower you as individuals to be able to identify things and maybe prevent it. And then with the guidance of you, Liz, they can learn even more. And do they have an opportunity to interact with you?
At this time, no, because I am actually, I have my physical practice still, but I do have the goal to have but they can always, anyone that has questions can always email me. But at this time, it's just strictly a self-study course. So
it may be self-study, but they do have an opportunity to send an email to you to ask the questions that may come up to mind.
Yes.
So the answer is yes. It's not what you and I, Liz, know as online access, which is you would actually have an interactive group maybe that you would be involved in, and you're not at that level at this point. This is just this is a self-guided online course, which is really great, I think, from a busy person standpoint, as you can do it as it sets into your schedule. So if you're going away for a week, you don't have to worry that you're going to miss a week or get behind a week, because there's no getting behind. You just have complete access to this course. And I think this is a beautiful dream and vision that you have, and that you're bringing this and sharing what you know with the world is brilliant. It's brave, it's honest, it's genuine, and it's very selfless. And I really appreciate you for that. You've always put us all ahead of you. And I think since going to Hawaii, you're also going to put yourself and put the oxygen mask on you on occasion, right, my friend?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your support always, Lillian.
Please. You are a shining light and a beacon, and anybody who can learn from you is absolutely brilliant, because you are very good at what you do, Liz, and you know your stuff, and you share it so freely. A lot of people hold on to their stuff and go, well, I don't want anybody else to know this. And what's the point of that, right?
Well, people learn through my vulnerability, so I'm an open book. And
we learn from each other's vulnerability. So vulnerability is not a bad word. It's not a bad thing.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. And you're very brave and courageous and honest for sharing yourself. And I appreciate that in you. If you had one thing to say to someone, what would that be in this, final moment, final thought?
I would say be an advocate of your own health. Research, make your own choices, be an advocate for yourself and your children, and heal yourself for the sake of the future generations, because they need us.
Nicely said. Very nicely said. So one more time, 5 Elements of Freedom is the online course. You can get it at handsonacupuncture.com. Liz Martin from Hands On Acupuncture and Massage. If you don't want to take the course, but you want to get acupuncture or massage, you can definitely go to the Stony Brook location and, make an appointment to do that. Liz Martin is bridging the gap between Eastern and Western medicine, and we are totally here to support you, and grateful as always to have you on, Liz. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. My heart is always lifted by sharing this time with you. I, of course, want to thank Liz Martin for joining us, and join us next Saturday right here at 3 p.m. In the meantime, follow us or send us comments on social media, or email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. If you miss any interviews or would like to hear some previous interviews, you can listen to us on SoundCloud at Healthy Lifestyle with LA. And remember, remember, I always say do a little something for yourself. It starts there. Starting new habits, creating a new world for yourself, and serving others is what we're here to do. Find the joy, find it, reach out and find the joy in everything that you do. It's important. It doesn't have to be a big thing that you do for yourself every day, but definitely take that moment and do something for yourself today. So thank you again for joining us on Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne Casdia. Until next time, show up for you and show up big.